Hey everybody, Gary Gore here from eBay and the PSA set registry. I just got back 208 cards from PSA and I'm gonna do a quick reveal video here. Actually, I'm gonna do like four of them because 50 seems long enough as it is. So I'm not gonna get into the history of talking about every card and where I have the memory and all that. Some people drive me crazy when they do that, but here's the very first one. Frank Robinson, 1962, PSA 3. 1976, Topps Frank Robinson, PSA 7. Here's a 1972 high number, Bill Russell, number 736, PSA 7. Here's a nice AL/NL 1972 strikeout leaders with Nolan Ryan and Steve Carlton. Nice looking card. Should have rated better, but got a PSA 7. So it's still got some desirability. '74 Topps Hockey, Dave Schultz, PSA 8, part of the Broad Street Bullies. By the way, I have the number 2 rated set on the PSA set registry for 1974 Topps Hockey. All right. I grew up as an Orioles fan, so Brooks Robinson was one of my favorite players. This is a 1962 post serial Brooks Robinson hand cut PSA 4. I'm actually pretty happy with the grade on that one. Sorry I'm not a little smoother here. Anyway, here's another 1974 Topps Hockey Jim Schoenfeld, PSA 8. Him and Dave Schultz were two of the bad boys in the NHL in the 70s. Penalty minute leaders. Here's a nice card here. 1972 Topps high number Ron Say, Ben Ogilvy, Bernie Williams rookie in PSA 8, number 761. That's a pretty sharp card, actually, if you don't mind me saying myself. '73 Chicago Cubs team card, PSA 8. That was one of my favorite sets, 73. Here's one I thought got a little shortchanged in the grading here. PSA 5, 1968 American League home run leaders featuring Yaz, Killebrew, and Frank Howard. PSA 5. Anyway, should have been better than that, but that's the breaks. Dusty Baker rookie, 1972 Topps high number. I think this is a second year card, actually. Number 764, PSA 6. High number, 1972 Topps. Here's a 1970 O-Pee-Chee Jim Harrison. O-Pee-Chee hockey, 1970 hockey. Jim Harrison from the Toronto Maple Leafs. PSA 8. Looks pretty sharp. Here's another 1972 Topps high number, number 649, Pete Rickert in PSA 8. Here's one of the better cards I got back. 1970 Topps Baseball NL pitching leaders, PSA 9 mint. That's mint, baby. Tom Seaver, Phil Niekro, Fergie Jenkins, Juan Marshall. 4 Hall of Famers on a PSA 9 card. You can't beat that. Another 1970 O-Pee-Chee hockey. Brian Glennie from the Toronto Maple Leafs. PSA 8, number 216. Here's a run of cards I don't think got the justice they deserve. But 1970 O-Pee-Chee Wayne Cashman, number 7, PSA 4. 1970 O-Pee-Chee hockey, number 230, Len Lund, PSA 6. Here's another 1972 Topps high number 772, Ken Tatum from the Red Sox, PSA 8, 1972 Topps baseball high number. This one, head scratcher as well. I thought this was going to be an 8 or a 9. Must be a tiny wrinkle in there I didn't see. 1970 O-Pee-Chee Conn Smythe Trophy, PSA 5.5. I wonder who won it that year. Bobby Orr was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. (1970) O-Pee-Chee hockey, Noel Picard, another PSA 6. Not liking how this run is going, but what are you going to do? You win some, you lose some. There's a 1971 O-Pee-Chee, Jerry Cheevers from the Boston Bruins, number 54, PSA 7. Here's a nice one, not too bad. 1970 O-Pee-Chee Frank Mahovlich, second team All-Star, number 242 and PSA 8. Always popular. Frank Mahovlich. There's another head scratcher. Hall of Famer Andy Bathgate. Later in his career, he played for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But 1970 O-Pee-Chee Andy Bathgate, PSA 5. This one, 1971 Topps baseball. I thought we'd get a 7, got a 6.5. Andy Etchebarren, number 501. I just wanted to submit one of these 71 baseballs with the black borders because I haven't submitted one in a long time, since before COVID. And I wanted to see, they hired a bunch of new graders. I want to see how they were treating the 71s. They're always all over the board grading those. So thought that would be a 7, 6.5. Maybe somebody will want it. All right, that's about half of 50. 1972 Topps hockey, Ken Dryden, second team All-Star, number 127, PSA 8. There's a pretty nice one. 1974 Topps All-Star first baseman featuring Dick Allen and Hank Aaron. That's a PSA 8, so that's a good deal. Put that one up on a holder, I guess. I think Dick Allen, borderline Hall of Famer. We'll see. He's on the Veterans Committee vote this year, I think. Harvey Haddix. Late in his career, he played for the Orioles. I was an Orioles fan growing up, so I collected Orioles team sets. This was part of my team set collection. Guy pitched like some incredible 20 inning, no-hit baseball and lost. I think he's pitched the longest string of no-hitter innings in a game and lost. It must have been quite the pitcher's duel back in the day. All right, here's something you don't see too much. 1967 Topps Red Sox stickers, Joe Foy. This was a regional release up in New England as far as I know, so they're pretty rare to get throughout the country. PSA 4. I'm not sure how PSA is grading stickers. I got screwed on all the stickers I sent in, but PSA 4, pretty rare regional release. Joe Foy, number 6. Here's another one I was testing out. I thought this would be a little better than the 7. This is another year that's particularly hard to get in top condition. 1971 Topps football. Dick LeBeau. I think he might be in the Hall of Fame. But anyway, he was a hell of a cornerback back in the day when I was a kid. Dick LeBeau, 1971 Topps football, PSA 7. There's a Gump Worsley, or Lorne Worsley, as he was known early in his career. This is toward the end of his career when he went to the expansion Minnesota North Stars. 1971 O-Pee-Chee, Gump Worsley, PSA 8, number 241. I think this is a Rick Lay rookie card. Anyway, 1971 O-Pee-Chee, number 194, Rick Lay from the Toronto Maple Leafs. PSA 6, a very harsh 6, but what are you going to do? What do you got? Here's another one I thought would be a lot better. Just did it for the hell of it. 1978 Topps Pete Rose, PSA 7, number 20. Meh. Here's another one I was checking out from my Orioles team collections. 1962 Topps Milt Pappas, number 75, PSA 5.5. Looks a hell of a lot better than that, but what are you going to do? This one I thought would be better too. Anyway, 1964 Topps Willie McCovey, Leon Wagner, Friendly Foes, number 41, PSA 6. I had a couple 63 football laying around, so I thought I'd send them in, see what I get. Thought this would be an 8, it's a 7.5. I don't know, maybe the print dots or what. 1963 Ernie McMillan from the St. Louis Cardinals, number 152, PSA 7.5. Here's another 63 Topps football I sent in. Obviously, I sent it in. Oops. 1963 Topps Prentice Gaunt, number 150, PSA 7. Ed Jacquemin. 1971 O-Pee-Chee, Ed Jacquemin, number 220, PSA 7. This one I thought would grade worse, but I'm pretty happy with it. I was a Jim Palmer fan growing up. Boog Powell, Brooks Robinson, Jim Palmer were my favorites. Anyway, this is a second-year Jim Palmer, 1967, number 475, PSA 4. Thought it would be worse because of some wear on the back corners. I'm not sure if you can see it, but anyway, that's better than a sharp stick in the eye. Or so they say. All right, here's a 1974 Topps Sal Apps, number 13, PSA 9 mint. I've been trying like hell to get a 10 on these. I must have sent in 4 or 5 of them. They all came back 9s. Anyway, I don't think there's a 10. (1974) Topps New York Rangers team leaders, Rod Gilbert and Brad Park, with their 1974 hairdos, number 141, PSA 8. (1974) Topps Bob Daly, hard to find center. I guess that's why it got an 8 instead of a 9 or higher. But 1974 Topps Hockey Bob Daly, number 240, PSA 8. A little off center, as you can see. I do not understand for the life of me why Wonder Bread cards don't get any more love than they do. But here's Hall of Famer Jack Ham from the Pittsburgh Steelers, 1976 Wonder Bread Jack Ham, PSA 8. Personally, I like the Wonder Bread cards. Here's a 1976 Topps Hockey Chicago Blackhawks team photo. Obviously, Topps didn't have a team photo, so they made a composite of each individual player. But 1976 Top Hockey Chicago Blackhawks, number 136, PSA 8. Good old Frank Robinson. Used to be a big fan of his. Also, both on the Orioles and afterwards. Anyway, 1961 Topps Frank Robinson, PSA 5, number 360. Not bad. Boog Powell, one of my favorite players. Thought this was going to be a little bit better, like an 8, but 1975 Topps Boog Powell, number 625, PSA 6. Big Boog. Wes Stock, who later on was the Orioles pitching coach when I was a kid, but I was like 2 years old when this card came out. 1962 Topps Wes Stock from the Baltimore Orioles, number 442, PSA 6. This one, pretty good, I guess. 1964 Topps Cincinnati Reds team card, PSA 8. Got two more here in this video. Hey, 1974 Topps checklist, PSA 9. Hopefully somebody wants a checklist. And here you go, 1972 Topps Hockey Conn Smythe Trophy winner. I think that's the MVP goalie in the playoffs. All right, anyway. Conn Smythe Trophy, number 176, PSA 8. Most valuable player in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, it's Bobby Orr. Anyway, that's my first batch of 50 PSA graded cards. Hope you liked it. You know what? There's another 6 cards I got laying here. Might as well do them. 1969 Topps Hockey, PSA 8, number 60, Wayne Connolly. Wearing a North Stars uniform, but says he plays for the Red Wings. 1976 O-Pee-Chee, WHA. Gene Peacock from the Indianapolis Racers, number 60, PSA 9. That's going to go in my PSA set registry set. There's another one that's going to go on the set. 1976 O-Pee-Chee WHA, Christopher Abrahamson. PSA 8, number 67, Christopher Abrahamson All-Star from the Hartford Whalers. I used to have season tickets to the Whalers. That's how old I am. 1969, Topps Andre Lacroix, PSA 8 from the Philadelphia Flyers, number 98. This one, I'm not quite sure why this got a 6, but 1969 Topps Ken Schenkel, number 117, PSA 6. And I'll top off this 58 card PSA reveal with a 1969 Topps Val Fontaine from the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 119, PSA 8, with those very old powder blue Pittsburgh Penguins uniforms. Anyway, that's the first 58 in a 208 card reveal, so keep an eye out. Hopefully you like this. Maybe I'll get better at this as I go through it, but thanks for looking.